There is a specific kind of discomfort nobody really prepares you for. It's not grief exactly, it's not anxiety exactly, it's something in between. This strange, unsettling feeling of not quite belonging to your old life anymore, but not yet arriving in the new one. You've outgrown something, a version of yourself, a relationship, a way of living, a belief about who you really are. But the next thing hasn't fully formed yet. And so you exist in this uncomfortable middle space, not here, not there, wondering if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You are in transition. And transition is one of the most psychologically complex and most misunderstood human experiences there is. Today, we are going to understand it completely. And by the end of this, I think you're going to feel a little less lost and a lot more like someone who is exactly where they need to be. I'm Tanish, a certified hypnotherapist. Let's get into it. First, let's make an important distinction because there is a difference between being lost and being in transition. And most of us confuse the two. Being lost means you have no direction, no sense of self, no internal compass pointing anywhere. Being in transition, however, means your compass is recalibrating. The old coordinates no longer apply, and the new ones haven't loaded yet. But the compass itself is working perfectly. Psychologist William Bridges, who spent decades studying life transitions, made a distinction that I find incredibly useful. He said that change and transition are not the same thing. Change is external. A new job, a relationship ending, moving to a new city. Change happens in the world. Transition is internal. It is the psychological process of letting go of one identity and slowly growing into another. And transition, he found, almost always not begins with excitement, but with an ending. In alchemy, the ancient philosophical practice that Carl Jung became deeply fascinated by, called the Nigredo. Nigredo was the first stage of transformation. It was described as the blackening, the breaking down of old matter before it could become something new. Dark, disorienting, formless. Jung used it as a metaphor for the psychological process of transformation. Before you can become something new, the old structures have to dissolve. The old identity, the old beliefs, the old ways of moving through the world. But the Nigredo was not the failure of the alchemical process, it was the beginning of it. There is also a beautiful concept from the naturalist world, the metamorphosis of a butterfly. And I know that metaphor gets used a lot, but stay with me because there is a detail most people don't know. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar does not simply grow wings, it completely dissolves. Its body breaks down into what scientists call imaginal soup, formless, unstructured biological matter. There's a period where it's neither a caterpillar nor a butterfly, just becoming. That is the in-between. That is transition. And if the chrysalis could feel, that soup phase would feel like the most terrifying, most disorienting thing imaginable. No structure, no identity, no certainty of what comes next. But what comes next is flight. Your in-between is not the end of your story, it's the soup phase. And the soup phase is sacred. In hypnotherapy, one of the things I find most consistently in people who feel lost or stuck is this. They're not actually stuck, they're grieving. Grieving the version of themselves they used to be, the certainty they used to feel, the identity that felt solid and known, even if it no longer fits. And we don't give ourselves permission to grieve that because from the outside, growth looks like a good thing, a positive thing, something to be celebrated. But inside, it can feel like loss. And loss deserves to be grieved, regardless of whether what you are losing was even good for you. You can grieve a relationship that was wrong for you. You can grieve a version of yourself you outgrew. You can grieve a life chapter that needed to end. The grief doesn't mean it shouldn't have ended, it just means that it mattered. There is also something that happens subconsciously in transition that is worth naming. The subconscious mind, which is wired for familiarity and safety, experiences identity change as a kind of threat. even when the change is chosen, even when it is deeply wanted. Because who you are is the most fundamental thing your subconscious knows how to protect. And becoming someone new, even a freer, more expanded, more authentic version, requires the subconscious to release its grip on the old story. That release creates anxiety, resistance, the urge to go back to what was familiar, even when familiar wasn't working. That resistance is not a sign you're making a mistake. It's the subconscious doing its job. And understanding that, naming it for what it is, takes away so much of its power. Here is what I want you to understand about the in between phase, the thing that changes everything. It's not wasted time, it's not detour, it's not evidence that you're behind or broken or moving too slowly. The in between is where integration happens. It is where you process who you were, where you make sense of what you've been through, what the new version of you slowly, quietly builds her foundation before she has anything visible to show for it. Think of it like renovating a house. Before the beautiful new space can exist, there's a period where the old walls are torn down and the new ones aren't up yet. And in that period, the house looks worse than it did before. It looks like chaos, like a mistake, like maybe you should have just left it alone. But that chaos is not renovation falling, it is renovation happening. You are being renovated from the inside. And the fact that you cannot yet see the finished room does not mean it's not being built. So, how do you actually move through a transition without losing yourself in it? Here is what genuinely helps. Step 1, stop trying to rush the becoming. The in between has a timeline that is not yours to control. And the more you push against it, the more you try to force clarity, force direction, force the next chapter to arrive before it's ready, the more disorienting it becomes. The in between is also where your values clarify, where you discover, often for the first time, what actually matters to you, separate from what you were told should matter, what you actually want, separate from what you performed wanting. That clarity is one of the most valuable things a human being can possess. And it almost always arrives not in the peak moments, not in the successes or the celebrations, but in the quiet, uncertain, fertile space of the in between. Step 2, anchor to what still feels like you. When your identity is shifting, it helps enormously to find the things that have remained constant, the values that still feel true, the things that still light something up in you, the version of you that exists underneath all the roles and stories and external definitions. Journal this. Ask yourself, who am I when nobody is watching? What do I love when nobody is telling me what to love? What feels true about me that has always been true? These anchors will hold you while everything else configures. Step 3, reframe the discomfort as data. Every uncomfortable feeling in a transition is information. Anxiety about the future is telling what matters. Grief about the past is telling you what was real. Restlessness is telling you something in you is ready to move. Instead of trying to make those feelings stop, get curious about them. Ask, what is this feeling trying to show me? What does this discomfort know I haven't yet admitted to myself? Your emotional experience in transition is not noise, it is signal. Step 4, trust the process even without evidence. This one is the hardest one because the in-between offers very little evidence that anything is working. You cannot yet see the new version of yourself clearly. You cannot yet see where you are heading. So you have to choose consciously, repeatedly, to trust the process is working even when you cannot see the results. Not blind faith, but informed trust, based on the simple truth that every transition you've ever been through, every difficult, disorienting, uncertainty in between, eventually resolved into something. You're still here. You've survived every previous version of not knowing. You will survive this one too. and what comes next will make sense of all of it. Your only job in the in between is to stay present and keep taking small, honest steps. Not giant leaps, not a complete life overhaul, just the next small, true thing. Save this, come back to it on the days when the in between feels unbearable. Share it with someone you love who is going through their own soup phase right now, and subscribe because this is the kind of conversation we have here every single time. I'll see you in the next one. Keep going. Bye.